4 years ago, two men decided the answer to a question football had never really settled. What happens when the two most dangerous attackers on the planet meet with the World Cup itself on the line? Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe turned the 2022 final into one of the wildest matches the tournament has ever produced. Argentina won it on penalties. Messi finally got his trophy. Mbappe walked away with a hat-trick and nothing to show for it. Now here we are again. Both teams are 2 wins from a final. And the question everyone in football keeps circling back to is simple. Does history repeat itself? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how close that rematch really is, why one of these two teams is far more likely to get there than the other, and why even a repeat final wouldn't really be a repeat at all. On paper, this looks straightforward. France has already booked its semifinal spot after beating Morocco. Argentina still has one more hurdle, a quarterfinal against Switzerland. Win that, and Argentina meets whichever team survives Norway or England. So the surface-level story writes itself. 2 great teams, 2 winnable paths, a final everyone wants. Football rarely moves in straight lines, though. Switzerland, a team most people had written off before the tournament even started, has already knocked out Colombia on penalties and reached its first World Cup quarterfinal in over 70 years. Nobody saw that coming. And Argentina hasn't exactly cruised either. Twice in this tournament, Argentina has trailed by 2 goals in a knockout match and had to fight its way back, first against Cape Verde, then against Egypt. That's not what a dominant team gliding toward a final looks like. That's what a team that keeps surviving looks like. And those are 2 very different things. That distinction matters more than most people realize. Teams that win ugly, that scrape through instead of controlling games, tend to run out of road eventually, because a knockout tournament punishes fatigue just as hard as it rewards a flash of individual brilliance. Argentina's squad also skews older than most of the remaining field. If Argentina gets past Switzerland, the next test is either a Norway side riding a red-hot Erling Haaland, or an England team that has found ways to win without ever really playing its best football. Neither is a gentle semi-final. France, meanwhile, hasn't needed extra time in a single match this tournament, which means fresher legs heading into the part of the competition that punishes tired ones. That's not a small edge in American summer heat, with a final only days after the semifinal. This is where 2022 actually becomes useful, not as nostalgia, but as a case study. That France team also arrived at the final with less mileage on it than Argentina, and it's still very nearly lost, because Mbappe alone can manufacture chaos out of a game that looks decided. Individual brilliance can flip a match in seconds, no matter what the run of play suggests. So even if France's road looks calmer on paper, that calm can vanish the moment Mbappe gets one half chance in a final. If breaking the tournament down like this is making it easier to follow, you might enjoy subscribing for more of it. This tournament has already shown that seeding means less than usual. Switzerland reaching a quarterfinal for the first time since the 1950s is proof that survival, not reputation, decides who's still standing on July 19th, when the final is played at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The biggest misconception going around right now is that a rematch of a great final is likely simply because it would make a great story. Tournaments don't owe anyone a sequel. Argentina has to win 2 more knockout matches against opponents who have already proven they don't fold under pressure. France has to win 2 more as well, but with fresher legs and a semi-final opponent still undecided between Spain and Belgium. So here's the honest read. France's road is genuinely built for a final run. No extra time played, a settled path, and a semi-final against a team that first has to survive Spain or Belgium. Argentina's road asks an aging squad that already needed 2 separate comebacks to somehow find a third gear against a dangerous Norway attack or a stubborn England side. If Argentina gets past Switzerland, the semi-final feels like the more likely place for this story to end, not the final. And if Argentina somehow does reach July 19th, France should still be favored, not because Messi's threat disappears, but because this version of France has needed far fewer emergencies to get there. The most interesting part of this whole picture isn't really who wins. It's how differently these 2 teams have arrived at the same stage of the tournament, one gliding, one surviving. History doesn't repeat itself just because we want it to. Do you think Argentina has one more comeback left in them, or has this run finally caught up with them? I'd genuinely like to read what you think. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.